Oh, I am celebrating the happiest day of my life in a couple of days here. It is my daughter's 7th birthday, and every year I make her birthday cake, or I make the dessert in some form. Um, so I'm really excited about this. This is a tried and true recipe. I've used it to make wedding cakes, cupcakes, any number of things. And as I go through the recipe, I'll kind of explain some variations that you can make to kind of really customize it and make it your own, make it really special. But my daughter, for the last couple of years, since she's been able to speak, she has helped me both design and come up with the flavors, and of course decide on a theme for her birthday party. And this year she chose Care Bears. I think that's just so precious. I introduced her. I am a child of the '80s, and I introduced her to the Care Bears a couple of months ago. And I've since learned that Care Bears has evolved over these 40 years, and there are like maybe three or four different types of Care Bears, or three different evolutions. The most recent one, it's definitely different. It's definitely modern. It seems to folk, there's a couple of villains, and they drive around in this little caravan and solve mysteries and troubleshoot and do all of these different things. So it's quite different from the old school Care Bears, where it was about caring and sharing and lying on clouds and in Care-a-Lot and helping people out and learning how to socialize. That element doesn't really seem to be there anymore, at least to the degree that it used to be. But either way, they're adorable, and still totally can learn a lot from their little belly badges, and the fact that we need all this variety in life. That's what makes it so rich in experience. So, I'm excited to do this. It's a two-part series, I guess. I'm going to start by making basic white cake, and then after the cake bakes off and cools down, I am going to try my hand at using fondant. And I'm going to be piping like a mad woman. Pink icing. She wants, let's see, is it Cher Bear? She wants Cher Bear in a bunny suit with pink ears. And so I'm going to make that happen. I wish I were confident enough to try my hand at making the fondant from scratch, but it's one of those types of things. Perhaps it is like molding clay. I'm not really sure. The texture kind of feels like it might be, but it does dry out as you use it. So I think I'm going to make my own fondant another time and maybe make just a little cake for fun. And that way I'll be able to kind of eyeball the portioning, so I could make fondant in the future. So perhaps next year for her 8th birthday, I could do something fun with fondant, homemade. But this go round, I'm going to use a commercial fondant. Oh gosh, food coloring is going to be involved. This is going to be quite fun. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, hello. Oh, hello from Brazil. Leandro. Hola. Fun with Junior. Hello. Good to meet you. Thank you for joining me in the kitchen. Oh, it's fun to interact. Hi, Harry. Thank you for joining me today. We're making a birthday cake. Okay, so this recipe does take a lot of doing up front. And that's just fine. You just pop on some music, sip some tea, and ole. It goes really fast to put together. And you do want to, there's a lot of sifting involved. You want to bring, your milk and buttermilk out to kind of rise to room temperature. You want to make sure your butter is not chilled, but not melted, I guess. You want to bring the butter out of the fridge, about an hour. I took an hour just because, I enjoy this all so much, and I don't often make birthday cakes. It has been 2 years actually since I have made this actual recipe. So what we have going on here is also a double batch. I've actually never made this as a double batch. So I'm really curious to see how this goes. You might see a lot of stuff flying out of this mixer. But what I have measured out here in the bowl is 1 cup of basically firm, but room temperature butter, and 3 cups of granulated sugar. We're going to cream this together. I've also measured out 2 cups of buttermilk and a cup of milk. Now, this is really cool too. I love using buttermilk in recipes. Oh my gosh, it just deepens the flavor in ways that I never imagined possible. And this is a special treat too because it's Bulgarian style buttermilk. There is a difference, and it's almost like a little more sour and like thicker, but the flavor is amazing. If you have ever enjoyed any Bulgarian baked goods, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I've also gone ahead and measured out 3 teaspoons of flavored extract. Daisy wanted vanilla, so I have vanilla in there. In the past, I've used strawberry extract, lemon extract. That was absolutely delicious. Almond extract, orange extract, and even coffee extract. So you can get you can have some fun with the flavors there, and as well as the buttercream icing that I'm going to be making in the next video. Actually, I might do it while the cake is baking. Let's see. I have gone ahead and sifted together 5 1/3 cup flour with 6 teaspoons of baking powder and a teaspoon of salt. Just kind of mix that all together. So that's all ready to go. And without further ado, let's get rolling on this. You're going to basically start by creaming the butter and the sugar together. Then you're going to alternate the wet and dry ingredients. You don't want to overmix, certainly. So let's see how this goes. All right. Thank you so much for interacting. Am I seeing Portuguese? That is a language that I would love to be able to speak. Sounds like music. All right. So, get the old mixer going. I am so glad that I have this mixer. Lock it down, and let's go ahead and start low so I don't fling sugar everywhere. This mixer it is full of a specific memory. I am a teacher. I have been for over 20 years, but I did diverge for a period of time, about 8 years, into corporate America. What an experience that was. And my skills were really transferable. Different kind of environment, but one thing they did have, which I thought was pretty cool, were office parties. And I won this mixer and an amazing set of mixing bowls during a Christmas party one year. And it was really exciting. I'd never used one before. And it's quite an expensive machine, but it really does the job well. Almost too well. You have to be careful not to overmix. But anyway, that's kind of fun. After I won this, it rested in my kitchen for a while. I remember making peanut butter cookies, and I totally overmixed the flour, and they were so hard that not even the dog would eat it, that you couldn't really even bite into them. So lesson learned there. But shortly after that, I started working at a local pie shop, and we had 5 of these. And soon enough, I was at a point where I was using 5 at a time, and really built my confidence with it and understanding. So let's see here. You want to be sure to scrape the sides. Oh, pardon me. I am moving a little slow. It is the end of the week, and it was a cool, hair on fire, busy kind of week, which is always nice, but mercy. Let's pick the speed up a little bit. So this is just creaming the butter. Okay. So I'm gonna start adding the extra ingredients. Give it a little bit of wet, put it on low speed. And this is the way I control the splash level. Is by putting in 1.5 cups at a time. I've always made this, you know, one batch makes 1 cake or 12 cupcakes. So I've always done that size. So doubling is going to be kind of interesting. 1, 2. If you hear your machine starting to lag down a little bit, you can bump up the speed if you like, but this is going super fast. There, you hear it? Okay. Let's go ahead and... Oh, indeed it is. Oh, that's nice and moist. Baking with buttermilk is absolutely the way to go. There's a sloshing. Woo! It's getting real. I might want to back up on that a bit. There we go. All the flowers in. Holy cannoli. Well, it all fit. There we go. That's the consistency I'm wanting. Woo! I love baking. It always makes so much. So I just don't do it as often as I want to, really. But with more time, I am going to get back into it and just give the extras. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Do yourself a favor too. Rinse, rinse, rinse as you go. And this is another little tip. I keep a wet washcloth nearby so I can wipe as I go. I don't burn anything. Yeah, that's looking just like how I want it. Where do you get a load of this pan that I'm going to bake this in? Now that's another first for me. I bought a Mondo pan. I can't even tell you how big that is. But it's gigantic. And my idea behind it is it's a sheet cake. Um, I'll explain a little in a little bit how I'm going to approach making the actual Care Bear. And then we'll probably do that in the next live stream. Get all that goodness in there. Oh, that smells wonderful. That vanilla is quite strong. Awesome. All right. Yeah, check out this business. Gigantic pan, sheet pan. Nice and thick. And what I've done here is I buttered it's a non-stick pan, but I buttered it on every surface or up on the sides as well, and just fitted a parchment inside. I left one side, or both sides actually, a little high. So when it comes out of the oven, you know, just use a spatula to loosen the edges all the way around, and then you can literally pull it out. We're going to see how it goes. I've never made a cake this big, so olé is all I can say. Okay. Holy moly. I don't often use the glass bowl. That is quite heavy. I'm still spinning. I'll move this guy out of the way. I'm still spinning. Okay. Here we are. Okay, here we go. Just pile it in. It's quite thick. This cake is actually, it does form a pretty thick crust, if you will. I know that's not really standard for a cake, but it's a nice soft inside. And you could certainly trim off the crust if you like. But what I'm going to do is actually cover the whole thing in fondant. And I think just the interaction of the fondant with, or on top of the cake, I think it'll kind of soften the exterior a bit. Holy moly, that is a workout there. I'm still standing. Okay. Let's go ahead and just spread her. Gosh, this could almost, it has baking powder in it, so it will rise, but it can almost, yeah, you know, that's going to be a good amount of cake. I didn't say this, but I think my daughter is going to have upwards, oh, there will be upwards of 30 to 40 people there at the party. You know, a parent or two, plus the kiddos. And so I am going to be feeding a lot of people. Also with the Care Bear theme, because it's a cartoon, what goes well with cartoons? Well, breakfast. And so we are having she's having a PJ and pancake party. Kind of excited about that. And as a parent, it's kind of, I think, kind of neat to just wake up and say, okay, just stay in your PJs. If you have your wild hair, keep your wild hair. Let's go eat some pancakes and have some fun. So it's an early party as well. Little pancake bar. I'm going to make some sausage and eggs. And oh my gosh, we have so many different kinds of toppings. I'm really excited about it. She is beyond excited. She has been doing the birthday countdown for a month now. You know, they always say it happens so fast. Kids grow up so fast, and my gosh, aren't they ever right? So I really just savor every moment, truly. You know, it was the happiest day of my life, the day she was born, and life just keeps getting better and better. I can't express what a treat and privilege it is to watch her grow up. Okay. Okay, so ideally you do want to let this, you know, I would usually preheat the oven after I've made the cake so it can kind of rest for a minute. You know, it's a little thick. But yeah, that's going to stand up nicely. Kind of want use this. Push it out to the sides a little bit if I can get away with that. So it's not domed in the center. Don't want a dome. There we are. Yeah, this is quite different to make a cake this big. Woo, a lot of air bubbles. Okay, there we are. Well, that's good. That's good. Knock those bubbles out. All right, here we go. It's going to go into a 350 oven. I am going to watch it. I'll let it go kind of for 30 minutes, and then check it every once in a while. You want to do the toothpick test. Just poke it, you know, it's the same layer, but you want to maybe poke a couple of holes in the center here to make sure that's all cooked. It very well may rise and split. I'm hoping it doesn't. If it does, no worries. And if it starts to get a little too brown, just dome some or tent it with some aluminum foil. So let's go ahead and get rolling on this. All right. Timer. Okay. Now I originally thought I was going to do the frosting while I had that in the oven, but I don't want the frosting to sit. It's a buttercream, you know, so it'll kind of like harden a little bit. It's not like a royal icing, it won't harden solid, but I want to do that as closely to frosting time as possible. I've already measured out here my powdered sugar and the butter. We're going to need to use some vanilla and a little bit of milk as well, just to get it to the point where you can pipe it gently. And I don't have piping bags anymore. I used to have the reusable ones. I found these kind of cool, and because I'm going to be doing different colors, I am going to just use these. So yeah, come on back to the kitchen if you'd like to see this magic happen. I might even end up doing a third video because I'm a little nervous about the construction. It's the kind of thing you get one shot at it and it makes a giant cake. But thank you again for joining me, and I hope you have a fantastic morning. And yeah, come on back and see what happens next. Cheers.